DownEastMicrowave.net.
Good evening, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. My name is Russ, and my call is KD8VYT. But for this presentation of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2547, with the release date of Friday, August 21st, 2026, to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. Parks on the Air begins a review of thousands of sites in France. A grant gives a boost to the Youth De-Expedition set for Christmas Island. And new hams in India get their first disaster drill experience. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2547 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's first independent on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now reporting from Charleston, West Virginia, here's Jim Dameron in a TMW.
We begin this week's report in France, where sweeping changes are expected to affect a vast number of parks' continued eligibility. Jeremy Booth, G4NJH, brings us up to date.
In a statement that has been stirring global controversy, the POTA board has said that it has begun a review of thousands of French CF-recognized parks, which, according to board members, may not be qualified to continue under POTA's rules. The statement explained that the board is looking at the legal and administrative authority behind the designation, which is the core argument behind the review. SNIEF, which stands for Zone Naturelle d'Intérêt Écologique, Faunistique et Floristique, is a national designation given to ecologically important sites featuring biodiversity. According to the statement, if a park loses its designation, activations that have already taken place will remain credited for both hunters and chasers. The POTA board said, however, that it has no intention of continuing to maintain former status for any parks that do not meet POTA's eligibility. The statement said, quote, historical operating credit can be preserved without requiring an ineligible reference to remain active indefinitely, unquote. POTA said that France is not being singled out, as some public statements have suggested, although different nations have different government frameworks and manage their parks differently. Other countries' parks could likewise come under the same scrutiny. The board said that, quote, the challenge is making sure that growth occurs within a framework that can be applied fairly and sustainably around the world, unquote. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
Meanwhile, in the U.S., Rhode Island may be the smallest state, but next month it will have the biggest ambitions, at least as far as Parks on the Air is concerned. Cell MB KB3TZD explains.
How do you activate all 61 Parks on the Air designated parks in the state of Rhode Island? You plan a POTA Activation-a-thon, which is what Rhode Island Parks on the Air is calling the 3-day event next month. This is a formal, organized challenge by the community-based group, which has its own website and schedule of activations, encouraging all U.S. and DX stations to work as many of the parks as possible. The activity will be focused on September 11th, 12th, and 13th, but some operators will be on the air as early as the 10th. Those watching the action will be able to monitor a real-time dashboard of who is on the air and see what parks will be activated next. Visit the website ripota.org for details. Or, if you happen to be in Rhode Island that weekend, be sure to register. This is Sel Emby, KB3 TZD.
At churches and chapels in the UK, the US, and elsewhere, a popular event returns next month, blending the ecumenical spirit with some electromagnetic strength. Dave Lee, M9TLB, has those details.
Few things are more powerful than the combined presence of two fellowships. Next week, many in the worldwide amateur radio community are going to church. They are calling CQ on the second Saturday of September, just as they first did in 2013. The popular event, Churches and Chapels on the Air, has its roots with the Huddersfield South Methodist Radio Club, G3LQK. It was there that the Reverend Arthur W. Shepherd, G3NGF, created an organization that later came to be known as the World Association of Christian Amateurs and Listeners, an ecumenical group with the call sign M1CRA. So many years later, the tradition continues. Outside the same venue in communities where congregants often bring their faith and their prayers, hams will be setting up portable stations on the 12th of September from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. local time. Event organizers are encouraging amateur radio operators to talk to their vicars, ministers, and church elders and request permission to activate there for the day. In some years, churches have even permitted antennas to be installed temporarily on their towers. Stations are encouraged to register for the one-day event. An email address for registration and the event website can be found in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Dave Lee, M9TLB.
The XU-7X expedition to Cambodia is still more than a year away, but it is already foremost in the minds of those looking to make contact with this coveted DX entity. The expedition leaders revealed details of their plans recently to the Sao Paulo chapter of Brazil's National Amateur Radio Society. We hear more from Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
The action behind the scenes is already very intense for the 20 expeditioners from Brazil, Ecuador, Japan, the United States, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. They plan to activate Koh Rong Island off the Cambodian coast, operating all the major modes around the clock for 10 days in November 2027. Providing a preview on the YouTube channel of the Sao Paulo chapter of the Liga de Amadores Brasileiros de Radiomissão, the DXpedition's leadership confirmed that things are moving forward. They learned in June from the Cambodian telecommunications regulator that their license would be granted soon. Although they have found the bureaucracy challenging, access to the site itself is expected to be simple. They will navigate to the island by water taxi. The team's HF antennas will benefit from being near the salt water. Expectations are high. Both Mario, PY2DV, and Alex, PY2WAS, expected to exceed the QSO count of 50,000 from last year's Galapagos HD8G activation. The interview in Portuguese can be found on the YouTube channel of Labre SP. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
The VK9XY Youth DXpedition to Christmas Island in November has gained support from the Northern California DX Foundation. The foundation announced in early August it was giving a grant for the 18-day activation, which is being planned, led, and operated by young operators. 8 of the DXpeditioners will be on the island, and another 30 or 40 will operate remotely from around the world using 2 radio-in-a-box stations paid for by the foundation. The team expects to be calling CW around the 16th of November. If you think swapping out an antenna here on Earth is a challenge, try doing it while you're floating in space for several hours, as 2 astronauts tried to do outside the International Space Station before they ran out of time. Kevin Trotman, N5PRE, has that story.
Astronauts Anil Menon and Sophie Adno, KJ5LTN,
teamed up outside the ISS for some lengthy and delicate antenna work early on Tuesday, the 18th of August. Their spacewalk focused on swapping out a space-to-ground antenna, a test that was covered live on NASA's website and the European Space Agency's YouTube channel. Like its predecessor, the new high-speed data and communications antenna was to provide a vital connection between ISS and NASA's Mission Control Center in Houston. However, the pair ran out of time. Removing the failed antenna took longer than expected. Fortunately, the ISS has two of these antennas, so communication can proceed normally even though the replacement is not in place. Another spacewalk is on the schedule for Tuesday, August 25th, but it's not clear whether the new antenna will be installed then. This is Kevin Trotman, N5PRE.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the K0AMA repeater in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, and the linked KD0NU repeater in Aspen on Sundays at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Some of the newest amateur radio operators in one part of India got the best training tool they could want, a scripted emergency drill. Jim Meachin, ZL2BHF, tells us how it went.
Some of the newest licensed hams in West Bengal, India, got to put their privileges to the test recently during a disaster management communication drill in Kolkata. Although this was a mock disaster, the exercise placed the same demands on the radio operators that they would face during a real crisis. They had to quickly set up 10 temporary stations and establish communications with one another. Ambrus Nag Biswa, secretary of the West Bengal Radio Club, said that classes had been held before the drill so that the hams could be confident in knowing every procedure necessary, from checking the radios, cables, and antennas, to measuring and ensuring an acceptable SWR. The August 9th drill was attended by officers from the National Disaster Response Force of the Indian government, the disaster management officers from the state of West Bengal, civil defense volunteers, and the local municipality, all of whom, no doubt, may one day need the skills of these new hams if disaster strikes. This is Jim Meacham, ZL2BHF.
As it increases its presence and its plans in the amateur radio satellite world, AMSAT Canada is looking to grow a membership base for support, as we hear from John Williams, VK4JJW.
AMSAT Canada has begun offering memberships to help promote amateur radio in space. The organization recently celebrated the designation of Marmotsat, a university-built CubeSat, as Canada's first official Oscar-designated satellite. AMSAT Canada hopes to continue its development and promotion of satellites and amateur radio, and is preparing for a major role in the future GEO project. The European Space Agency initiative is intended to provide digital and multi-mode satellite coverage for amateur radio in Europe and parts of North America. Full membership and affiliate membership are both available on an annual basis. For membership benefit details and other information, visit the link in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
In the world of DX, special event call sign 4A2MAX is on the air through to the 31st of August in memory of St. Maximilian Maria Kolbe, SP3RN, the priest who is regarded as the patron saint of amateur radio. He died at Auschwitz on the 14th of August after offering to give up his life so that a fellow prisoner would be spared. Listen on various HF bands where hams will be calling CQ using different modes. Gunter DK2WH will be on the air as V51WH or using the contest call sign V55Y from Namibia from the 25th of August through to the 10th of October. Gunter will be using SSB, FT8, RIDI, and some CW on 160 through 6 meters. Listen for Alex, SQ9UM, using the call sign 3B8SQ9UM from Mauritius, IOTA number AF049, from the 21st through to the 27th of August. He'll be using FT8, FT4, and CW with some SSB on 40 through 10 meters. Several special event stations in different federal territories and Malaysian states are marking their National Day on the 31st of August and Malaysia Day on the 16th of September. Be listening for their activations between the 22nd of August and the 30th of September. Call signs include 9M26MS from Sabah and 9M26MQ from Sarawak in East Malaysia, and 9M26MA, 9M26MB, 9M26MC, and 9M26MD, among others, in West Malaysia. There's nothing like a little friendly competition in amateur radio, especially when you're keeping it in the family, as we hear from Ralph Squillace, KK6 ITB.
April 21st, 2023 was a proud day for Margie Anderson and David Boynton of Phoenix, Arizona. Mother and son received their ham radio licenses that day after studying together and testing successfully together. Now they were no longer just a family. They were an amateur radio team. Togetherness prevailed once more a short time later as they studied and upgraded from technician class to general. Then Margie, KK7MGK, and David, KK7MGJ, discovered DXing the same way they discovered amateur radio, together. That's when things changed, and the race was on. Her HF rig and a flagpole antenna was putting her on the map of the world, news she shared with her son, who is working hard to keep up with his mom's DX record. While many mothers like to promise their sons and daughters the world, it soon became apparent that David was going to have to work hard to get his own piece of the planet. For now, however, David could take comfort in one thing. Their FCC licenses put him in front of Mom in one respect. His call sign ends in J. Mom's ends in K. So he will always be one letter ahead. This is Ralph Squillace, KK6 ITB.
With thanks to Amateur Radio Daily and Barjnak Bishwash VU2JFA, AMSAT Canada, AMSAT News, Bill PY2BIL, Churches and Chapels on the Air, David Bihar, K7DB, 425DX Bulletin, FCC, Gray Line Antenna, NASA, Northern California DX Foundation, Parks on the Air, Rhode Island Parks on the Air, QRZ.com, Spaceflight Now, Wireless Institute of Australia, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know we appreciate you all. We also remind listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Jim Dameron, N8TMW in Charleston, West Virginia, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2026. Amateur Radio Newsline retains ownership of its material even when retransmitted elsewhere. All rights are reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Net to start in about 11 minutes.
W8VPV. Repeater PL110.9.
KD8VYT, W8EZT calling. KD8VYT, W8EZT. You there, Russ? Nothing heard. W8EZT clear.
EZT, KA8WTK.
Hey, good evening, Bill. How you doing?
I'm phone social this evening. I remember a couple weeks, probably 3 weeks ago, you sent me an email, had pictures of a couple of connectors, and I responded to that email about one of them looked like it might be what I was after, and said we'd get together later. You know, I can't find your email or my response in my email program. I was going to send you an email tonight and say if you were going to be at the clubhouse this Wednesday, I'd meet you there.
Hey, I actually was not planning on doing anything at the clubhouse. I've had some back issues and some oral surgery that I'm still recovering from. But I can arrange to get them to you sometime. Let me leave myself a big note here, and when I get done with the nets tonight, I will look them up and give you a call on the cell phone, and we'll go from there.
That sounds like a plan. I was positive you sent me an email with the pictures, and positive I replied, and I just can't find them. That's just, I hate technology sometimes. Okay, I'll talk to you after the 2-meter net tonight. Thanks, Frank. W8EZT, KA8WTK.
Very good, Bill. I think they might have actually been a text. I might have taken a picture and just sent it to you via text. So maybe check your phone. That's from memory.
Do that right now. Text.
W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. Repeater.
Good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday evening VHF UHF net. My name is Frank. My call is W8EZT, but for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information, to enhance net operating practices, and to keep our members up to date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. start with some announcements, then ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that's complete, we'll take check-ins, call signs only, 5 at a time, confirming the call before we move on to the next. Once I've got those 5, I'll work through them, then we'll take another 5 and repeat that process until check-ins slow down. At that point, we'll start taking them one at a time until we wrap up the net. If you're a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call, repeat it phonetically, followed by your name and location. And when all check-ins have been worked, I'll repeat the announcements and then close the net. We also operate an HF+6 band exploration net starting at 9:30 p.m. after this net. The approximate frequencies are posted on our webpage, and it'll be announced on this repeater, at least on the 2-meter side, immediately prior to 9:30. Tonight we'll be on 80 meters at approximately 3.827 megahertz. I will say I have had troubles with noise in my neighborhood over the last couple of weeks on 80 meters, so I may have difficulty covering you or catching you, but sure, we'll give it a try, and hopefully we can do that. The exact frequency will depend on band activity and QRM, so listen up on the repeater just before 9:30, and I'll let you know exactly what frequency it is. Please join us if you have the privileges and the equipment. The announcements. This Wednesday would normally be a clubhouse activity. Unfortunately, due to some back issues I've had, some oral surgery I've had, and coming in off a vacation, I have not had a chance to put together anything. And Anthony is now taking classes at Kent State, and so he doesn't have anything lined up. If something comes up, we will certainly get it out in an email blast, but we do not have anything scheduled this month at the clubhouse, so my apologies. The next meeting is, of course, coming up August, the second Wednesday in August. That's the September, I mean. That's the 9th. That'll be 7 o'clock at Pilgrim United Church of Christ, downtown Cuyahoga Falls. We're also going to be holding a BOG meeting, Board of Governance meeting, the first Wednesday of each month. We'll be talking about the Hamfest in just a minute. To help schedule and coordinate the Hamfest and take care of other issues. So we encourage all club members to attend our Board of Governance meetings. We want to hear your input. We break for time. And that's really about it. That's everything I have on my schedule right now. So let's go ahead and open it up. Do we have any officers or trustees with announcements of general interest to the club, or members for that matter? Go ahead now.
W8VPV.
Go ahead, John.
Yes, regarding the band exploration net, next Monday is a 5th Monday, and so we will be on 12 meters, 24.972 megahertz, upper sideband, and I'll be the net control for that net. This W8VPV back to the net.
All right, thank you very much, Sean. I'll try to get that in the wrap-up announcements. Do we have anybody else out there with announcements of interest, of general interest? All right, John, I've got you checked in as or signed up as our first check-in. Do you have anything else for the net?
No, that's all. I'll be sure to attend the Zoom BOG BOG meeting. W8VPV back to the net.
Okay, we're going to set the timing on those BOG meetings till 8 o'clock, to 8 o'clock. Anthony is taking classes at Kent State and won't be available until about then. So, and I'll get announcements out in the officer trustee group right after the net here. Okay, with that, we're looking for check-ins. This is W8VPV. Go ahead. Boy, I'm sorry. I got a lot of noise in there. I could hear a voice in the background, but I could not pick it out. Could you give it another try?
Bill in Macedonia.
Okay, Bill in Macedonia, we got you on the list. I don't think I'm going to be able to get any information out of that. Of course, you might try the UHF side and see if you can get through there also. Gosh, I was just up in Macedonia, Twinsburg exit today appealing my real estate taxes, but that's another whole story for another day. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate the check-in. We got you in the log. Another station, please.
Alpha Delta 8 Sierra Charlie, Brian in Cuyahoga Falls.
88SC, Brian, got you there. I think I owe you a radio. We'll take care of that this week. When I get done with the net, if you could shoot me a phone number that I can get in touch with you, I'll try to get it out. We'll get it to you this week. It's been waiting long enough. Anything for the net tonight?
Victor Papa Victor, this is Alpha Delta 8 Sierra Charlie. Good evening everyone on net. Hope everyone's doing great. Only thing I got is I took my extra class exam Saturday and passed that, so my call sign changed to Alpha Delta 8 Sierra Charlie, and that's about it for now. With that, I'll send it back to you, Frank, and I'll get a hold of you about that radio. This is Alpha Delta 8 Sierra Charlie. Have a good night.
Well, absolutely awesome news there. Congratulations, Brian, and well, that's just awesome. That's all I can say. So congratulations, and now you don't have to worry about those little notches where you can't operate. That was the big reason for me. So very good. Looks like we're going to have a light net tonight. We usually do in the summer, so I'm going to go ahead and take them one at a time. Next check-in, please.
Bravo 8, Victor Hotel Kilo, John and Kenmore.
VHK, John, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Frank, and everybody listening on the net. Yeah, I've just been hanging out, doing a little FT8, doing some POTA camping down at Mohican State Park and West Branch State Park. Today I am actually doing FT8, contacting the Franz Joseph Land D-Expedition. Actually had good luck. I was able to copy them on 20 meters and got my RR-73 from them. So if you guys think you can't contact good D-Expedition stations, this one's way up north in the northeast Atlantic above Russia. It's an observatory up there, and I hit them with 100 watts and a very compromised wire antenna. And after that, I'll just give it back to the net. W8 Whiskey Papa Victor, Kilo Bravo 8 Victor Hotel Kilo.
Very good, John. Of course, all antennas are compromises, some more than others, but very good. It proves you don't need a giant antenna and a beam to get out there. And speaking of antennas, we've got a club build project coming up. We're still working on it. It's going to be this fall sometime. It'll be a 9-to-1 Ballon and a 71-foot long wire end-fed antenna. And it should be good for all the ham bands. We'll let you know more as we get finished checking out the one I've got built now. Matter of time doing that. But stay tuned. We'll have a project there. Thanks, John. Looking for the next check-in. W8VPV here.
This is Kilo Echo 8, Uniform Lima Charlie, KE8ULC.
KE8ULC. Kurt, good evening. I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah, it's probably been 4 months at least that I've checked in or been to a club meeting. It turned out that I had a genetic heart fault. I was born with a bicuspid valve, so I had to have emergency surgery where they replaced the aorta valve. So this is my first check-in in about 4 months, so it's just good to hear you all. This is back to W8VPV. This is Kurt at KE8ULC.
Wow, anytime you got to go under the knife, it's serious, and obviously that one is, especially a heart valve, but congratulations. Thanks for checking in. I wish you the very best in a full and speedy recovery. I know you've had your share of medical issues this summer, so hopefully the winter will be a lot better for you. Thanks for checking in. Appreciate it, and stay tuned. We will have some projects coming up down the road. W8VPV looking for another check-in.
KD8VYT.
KD8VYT. Russ, good evening. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I want to send a big thank you out to Anthony, who connected to my computer and got my FT8 working. I've been without that for over a year. And so I've been going gangbusters on FT8. Also, I am interested in that build project. I have an end-fed that goes to 80 meters, but it might be fun to experiment with something else. So I'm interested in that, and I wanted to know also, did you get my email fixed? KD8VYT.
Very good, Russ. We did get your email fixed. The old one, I think, had you at an ATT, or a ARRL. But I did get that email fixed. I confirmed it with Anthony got it fixed. I confirmed it's good, and you should now start getting emails on a regular basis. So congratulations there, and I got you down as somebody interested. It'll be a Ballon, a 9-to-1 Ballon that will wind on a Type 43 material. That's about a $10 core. We'll put it in a Carlon construction box with a SO239 connector and a screw on the side of it, and then a 71-foot piece of wire. It can be almost anything, insulated wire, stranded, whatever. Price of copper wire is just going through the roof, but I've got a big yellow spool full of copper wire that we'll donate to the project, so we should have enough out there for a bunch of people. Good hearing you in there. Thanks for checking in, Russ, and of course, thanks for doing Amateur Radio Newsline. That's really appreciated. All right, W8VPV, looking for another check-in.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar.
AC8XO, Vince. Good to hear you in there. I just saw your email, and my thoughts go out to your wife, and wish you the very best for the surgery. So good luck there. Go ahead.
Well, as I usually do on the net, I beg for articles. You guys got your beg, so I don't need to talk to you about that. Anybody out there want to submit an article? You know, the newsletter editor at cbark.org. Send stuff. I want, if you send a picture, give me some words. If you send some words, you know, it's just explain what you're doing. I'm always doing stuff on my end. I spend more time doing technical stuff than amateur radio, so I haven't spent much time on the air. This is my weekly spend time on the air. My sweetie usually sits with me, but right now she's not. So anyway, that's all I got, Frank. I hope everybody has a good night. AC8 back to net.
All right, very good, Vince. At the risk of putting myself out here on Front Street, I've got 2 or 3 articles. I'm going to do one on the picnic. That'll have a couple of pictures. I've got one on the upcoming Hamfest. That's going to be it's going to be a change from previous years. We'll be talking about that more later on, and I'll try to do one a little bit about the recent history of improvements in Field Day, which some people asked about this summer, and I've been kind of brewing that in the background, so hopefully these will come to fruition. May only have 2 this month and 1 next month. We'll get one to you for sure either way. All right, thanks, Vince. W8VPV, the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club, Monday Evening Net, looking for check-ins.
K8WTK.
KA8WTK. Go ahead, Bill.
Good evening, Frank and the rest of the net. This is Bill in Talmadge, KA8WTK. Took the last couple of weeks, and we drove out to Oregon. Margaret and I got in the car and just buzzed out there, and it was a good trip. Weather was excellent. We had little sprinkles of rain here and there on the way out and on the way back, but nothing dramatic. Got to spend some time with my oldest and middle granddaughter and my oldest son and his wife. Had a really good time, very relaxing. Considering some of the things we've been through with family, my wife's dad over the summer and his health, it was quite relaxing, and we needed the break.
Well, congratulations. It's always great when you can just kick back and drive. Were you towing that trailer, if I remember right?
We don't tow the trailer when we go out there, because when we get into Portland, there's no place to put the trailer. It won't go in my son's driveway. because of the width of the driveway in those old neighborhoods, and because of the angle of the little hill that you have to go up. So I have, when my father died 2 years ago, he left me a 2015 little Chevy Cruze with a turbo engine, and it can get as much as 38 miles per gallon. We averaged 34 point, I think it was 34.2 it said. But that's because of how fast you go when you're out there. Speed limits are 80 mile an hour out there in 75 and 80. In Wyoming, 75, Idaho, maximum's 80, Utah, there's some 80s. And it doesn't get as good a mileage when you're going 82, 83 mile an hour. But I love seeing the country, and it's so nice to get out there and know that we haven't paved at all.
For sure. Yeah, that whole area, Utah, Montana, is still pretty darn wide open. More cows and cattle and open acreage than people. Very good. Well, very good, Bill. And as I say, I'll when I get off the net here, I'll go dig out those connectors and figure out some way to get them to you and use whatever you need. And I guess hang on to the rest. I don't think I'll need them back. I'm trying to downsize here. Very good. W8VPV looking for more check-ins.
This is Kilo 8 Bravo India.
Back-to-back bills. Go ahead, the other bill.
Oh, I thought maybe I doubled. Yeah, good evening, Frank, and everybody else on the net. Just wanted to say hello. Really don't have any news. Good to hear everybody, and look forward to seeing everybody again in the future. So have a great evening, everyone. W8VPV, KAPI.
All right, very good, Bill. Good hearing you in there, and usually see you Friday, not always, but look forwards to it. Always look forwards to it. So very good. All right, next check-in, please.
Kilo Echo 8, Tango, Quebec, Romeo.
KE8TQR. Gotcha, go ahead.
Good evening, Frank, and everyone else here on the net. Just wanted to stop in here and say hello to everyone this evening. I don't know if anyone else is doing any HF, but 20 meters is doing really well tonight. Strong signals coming in from Qatar or Qatar, however you want to pronounce that. Also Greece. I made a couple nice contacts this evening. Had a great day here at home. The beautiful weather we had today with the sunshine. Got the back lawn mowed. The front lawn was mowed the other day. So tomorrow I think I'm just going to work on the John Deere. Pull the deck off, put fresh blades on it, clean the bottom of the deck, put it back on there and level her out to make sure she's ready for the next lawn mowing. Just want to wish everyone a great evening, a great rest of the week. Hope everyone's doing well. And we'll turn it back over to you, Frank. Good to hear you on the radio tonight. This is KE8TQR saying 7-3, and God bless.
W3X break.
I just looked at your webpage and saw your underground burial of the coax. Man, it is that's approaching a commercial quality setup there. So congratulations. And obviously sounds like it's working well for you, so very good. All right, W8VPV, another check-in, please.
W03X break.
Go ahead, W03X.
Yeah, Keith mentioned on the Aries net that 9 kilo, 2 kilo was on 20 meters there, and so I was able to make contact with him. He's in Kuwait there, so I made a contact. I was one of the last ones because he was going to sign off after that. This is W03X, back to the net.
Awesome. That's good information. Glad Keith got that out to you then. All right, looking for another check-in. W8VPV here.
KDI at.
All right, got you in the log, Ron. Appreciate you stopping by. Looking for another check-in. All right, looks like we're going to have a short night tonight. It's a nice warm evening. I should be out there mowing grass, but I decided not to. So probably tomorrow if weather permits. Anyway, we'll run through the announcements. We don't have a whole lot at this point. We have nothing scheduled at this time for our Wednesday clubhouse event. If that changes, we will send out emails, so watch emails for you. Make sure you do have a current email for you. The next meeting is, of course, coming up next month. It's going to be the second Wednesday, which will be the, wrong calendar, will be the 9th. This will be at Pilgrim United Church, downtown Cuyahoga Falls. It'll start at 7 o'clock. It will be Zoomed. And we will, among other things, be talking about the Hamfest. There have been some significant changes after this year's Hamfest, and we are going to have to be putting together some different plans, and we'll kind of start talking about that and see what people can do and how we can help and make this happen. Our Hamfest has been a very popular and very successful event for many, many years due to the people behind it and working on it, and we hope to keep that going. But things have changed a little bit, so we'll be talking about that. Don't know what else we've got on the schedule yet, but as we get closer, we'll have something lined up. And we will start to be holding monthly Board of Governance meetings on the first Wednesday of each month at 8 p.m. These will be Zoomed, so you don't have to go anywhere. These will be where the trustees and the officers get together and try to figure out what we want to do in upcoming events for the club. And we definitely want our members to participate. So please sit in on those meetings. We will turn to you for guidance and advice. What do you want to do? What do you want to see done? Things like that. So definitely stay tuned for that. Again, we'll have some announcements coming out on that in the near future. And lastly, of course, we do have our band exploration net tonight coming up at 9:30. This will be on 80 meters, 3.827 or somewhere thereabouts, depending on QRM and noise. And as I say, I've had a very noisy environment for the last couple of weeks, so this is going to be a challenge for me. Let's see here. Finally, this is one of those months with 5 Mondays, so John will be doing net control next Monday, and the band expiration net will be on 12 meters at 24.972 megahertz, so stay tuned for that. All right, this is W8VPV looking for more check-ins. Go ahead now. Right, looks like it is going to be a short net tonight, and that's not a surprise. It's nice and warm, and a lot of people are out there doing outside stuff. So we'll put out one more call, and if that's it, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, and hopefully see a couple of you guys on the 9:30 band expiration net. Do we have any last check-ins for the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club, the HF-UHF net? Go ahead, Keith.
Brothers out here, Frank. There's another cutter on from over there. Cutter, away somewhere over there. It's on 14 Mark 215. He's coming in about a 5.7 in there, Ohio. So, John, if you're still listening, you might want to try to jump on that one.
Did you catch that?
Yeah, I heard it, WO3X.
All right, thanks a lot, Keith, and well, good luck, John. Go for it. All right, then. I think that's about it. One last call. Any last check-ins? Otherwise, we'll go ahead and wrap this net up. All right, in preparing to close this net, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been Frank. My call is W8ECT, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. We'll now close the net with 13 check-ins, myself included, and return the repeaters to normal and customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, closing the net at 8:55.5 p.m. local time. We'll hope to catch everybody on the band expiration net on 80 meters at 9:30. We'll have the exact frequency announced here at about 9:27. W8VPV, we are clear.
W3XKEHQR.
W8VPV. Repeater.
W3XKEHQR.
W8VPV. Repeater, PL110.9.